This is amazing. It's inspiring, and it is fantastic. Fantastic news. Richard Scott William Hutchinson. He was born 5 months premature. 5 months. Recognized by the Guinness World Records as the most premature baby. 131 days prior to the expected due date and weighing just 11.9 ounces. I think I've got a picture of the little guy at 11.9 ounces. So small. I mean, for those on podcast, we're talking about fitting in the palm of your hand. I mean, that's how small this little baby is. And the type of baby that absolutely can be aborted if you want to in this country, really anywhere. And something that you say most people on the left would just be like, I mean, that's not even, what is that thing? I don't even know. What is that thing? Well, it's a baby. And we can tell you it's a baby because they decided not to kill it. They decided to try to make it live. Maybe everything they could to try to get this little guy to make it through. And so far, it has happened. We now have a picture of what he's like today. He's getting through everything pretty darn well. Pretty incredible that this has happened, and a miracle, an absolute miracle. You know, my wife volunteered at a NICU for a while. And she said, she came back, I remember her coming back and saying, like, I just coming out of there, she was pro-life before. I don't see how you can be anything but pro-life after going through an experience like that. A friend of mine had a premature baby recently. The amount of surgeries and all of the things they've done to keep this little guy alive is, you know, it's incredible. And most societies in the history of the planet would just give up and say, screw it. What are you going to do? Bring on another baby. Let's see what happens. Instead, we're now doing things to save babies at 20 and 21 weeks. It's incredible, and I'm thrilled to bring you that news because the more science advances here, the harder it's going to be to justify just eliminating these forms of life, these living beings. You can't just throw them out. We're getting down, you know, when Roe versus Wade came through, obviously we know it's a terrible law if you care about that sort of thing. But it did talk about how viability is an important part here. And if the baby can survive on its own, well, of course, obviously it should be allowed to live. That was really what Roe versus Wade even said. I mean, that's not a conservative piece, of Supreme Court law. This is, this is a ruling that was obviously something that most conservatives hate. But it made that point pretty clearly. Yeah, I mean, earlier on, maybe when it needs the mom, there's an argument to be made. But obviously, after viability, of course, you shouldn't be aborting babies. Well, now one of the two major parties thinks you can go to like the last minute. So that's horrible, and I'm glad these little points can be brought up to save hundreds of thousands, millions of future lives. It's really important.